Okay. We strike the chime thrice. Once for those who were here in this room and part of our movement in the past, for those who are present now, and once for those who will be present in our unfolding future. Lily this morning has agreed to help us with an a cappella song chant for our opening song this morning. For those of you who want written versions to take a look at, though I'm confident you'll learn it pretty quickly, it's in the Teal hymnal number 1003, Where Do We Come From? You want a mic, dear? Let's get you a mic. Where did the portable go? You seen the hand mic?
It was here, and Jake was putting batteries in it.
Jake, do you have the hand mic back there? Because I'm just seeing the one. Where do we come from is the question. Oh, Larry's found it over there. Larry's got it. So our first question of the morning is, where is the microphone? Our next question is, where do we come from?
Okay.
I'm going to help her a little for those who go down here.
Yes, please help me. We're doing this as a chant. So, are we doing this like continuously or separating everyone?
Teach them each of the four, and then we'll do the four parts through together 4 times.
Okay. So, if you would open up your Teal hymnal. Does everyone have it open? To 1003. I think it helps with the lyrics. The first part is, where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? What are we? What are we?
Please rise and body our instrument.
Yes, please. Okay. And then the second part is, am I singing this? Am I teaching them how to sing this?
Yeah, let's sing it through together.
Singing it through together. Okay. And
I know most of it.
so the first part is, where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? And then the second part is, where do we come from?
Where
Do we come from? Third part is, mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. The fourth part is, where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Okay.
And then it will return to the top. And the piece that I need to remind myself is, at the end of each of those lines is a repeat. So each of those lines we'll be doing twice, each part. And we'll do it through 4 times.
Okay.
Go for it.
Starting together now. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
Let's go back. Let's start it again.
Yes, please.
We
I
can do
messed
it a
up.
little more.
Yes.
We can get there. Let me get my page open too. All right.
Okay.
Where do we come from?
What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Come from.
How many times have we done that?
We've
That's two, okay, two more.
Two more.
Where do we come?
What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from?
Listen to her.
Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? We're done.
Okay, here's the good news. I have given you permission to make an error, and we work on making a joyful noise. We'll come back to this one because I know it from a camp setting where we sing it multiple times. And I count on, we might even try 4 different groups with the 4 different parts, but we need to know it much better. But thank you in beginning our service with that question, where are we going? Now we've got some welcome and announcements because we know where we were going this morning. We were coming here.
It's hard to follow that without saying the things that are in my mind, like, Dennis, I'd follow you almost everywhere. Good morning. I am Laleen Fifield, and I am your service leader for today. And today I want to welcome you here. If you are here for the first time, we just want you to know that this is a place where you can be yourself, you can be free to be how you are. And I guess maybe in this current climate, that's kind of important because some of us may be bringing today feelings, delusions, feelings of disbelief, anger, uncertainty, fear, hopelessness as an aftermath of that election. And we don't want to ignore that, but I do want to tell you that we have some time set aside after the service for discussing both the service, which of course will lend itself to what is happening in our world, and to your feelings about what is happening in our world and your world. So please do know that we're glad you're here. We're glad you came. And if you are here for the first time, just thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I also want to thank our folks who join us virtually. If you're here for the first time, there are some cameras back there, and you can wave at them. And we're happy to have them here also. I'm really grateful for the greeters today. We have a greeter in training, who is Caesar. And of course, there's Al and Mary holding that down. And Jake on media, Jake Tranter, our media director. And today we're going to have Sean and or not. Just Sean. It might have been Sean and Susie, but today it will be Sean Shea doing music for us. And I'm looking forward to an interesting sermon. There are one or two other announcements which are in your order of service. However, one of them left out was about a board meeting today. So after the conversations, there will still be a board meeting downstairs. Downstairs? No. Everybody's welcome. The other thing about your announcements is the Roseburg Folklore Society is having their monthly sing-along. Had some friends over yesterday, and they told me they've got a new songbook out, and it promises to be a good time. Is that at the meadery? It's going to be here. Okay, it will be here. So know you are welcome on Sunday evening today for that. Each week, in our compassion for the needs of others, we have supported Fish for many, many years. Fish is a food pantry, and if I could get a little help, I'd like to have a couple people come out. Are they over there? Baskets are going to come around, and we appreciate any donations of food or money that you might contribute to help those who are in need. Our offertory will come after this later. Thank you, everyone. Your donations make a big difference, and thank you for helping out. We begin our service today with the chalice lighting, and the chalice lighting is by Sarah York. Her words are, "We receive fragments of holiness, glimpses of eternity, and brief moments of insight. Let us gather them up, for the precious gifts they are, and renewed by their grace, move boldly into the unknown." Thank you for the help, Larry. Dennis is going to be joining me, Reverend Dennis Reynolds, for a reading.
Yeah, this piece, well, the reading is actually coming later. What I want to do now is a call to worship. We still have some more time before we get to the reading that'll precede this service. But what I wanted to do this morning is we acknowledge the reality of what a tough week it's been for many progressive-minded people. And as we come together in community, I'd like to invite us into worship with these words from Reverends Wendy Bartell and Lynn Gardner. From our separate joys and struggles, we come here to find the peace of balance, to find the blessing of restlessness. All are welcome. If you are steady and poised, if you feel completely lost, if you don't know what you feel, this community has a place for you. Here you matter and are loved. If we are steady and composed, if we feel completely lost, if we don't know what we are feeling, this community has a place for us, for all of us. Here we matter, and we are loved. Now, often at this time in the service, we would settle into a contemplative time of meditation. And I had originally planned to do a simple meditation, and then Sean shared with me a piece of music this week. What goes beyond the scenes is there's some consultation with our music coordinator that doesn't always show up on Sunday, and we decide what's going out, what's coming in. And one of the suggestions he made was for this song, and I Googled it, and he helped me find a good, clean link to a particularly moving piece of music that moved me profoundly this week. So I invite you to just take some deep, slow breaths, settle into a contemplative time and place and mood, and let the sounds of the music and the images of the video wash over you, enter into your heart and your soul. Jake?
Hey, it's Jason here in a fake fur hat. A couple of weeks ago, I asked people to point their cameras into the direction of love. And if you want to know what love is, well, check this out. The question is why? Why are we here? To say our hellos and goodbyes and disappear. This beautiful life, what is it for? To learn how to master peace or master war. There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. The answer. Love, 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 mistakes. No, we're not perfect yet. Maybe God made us all from an accident. And the question that sits on everyone's lips is why should we pick ourselves up and start over again? There's only one the answer. Love, 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 love. The question I'll ask at the end of my days is, what did I give and what will I take? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart and your dreams have been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love is still the answer.
Thank you for finding that video. I listened to it 3 times last night, and it really, really helped. And then knowing today that we're having a conversation later is sort of like, gosh, that's what I need. So grateful, Sean, and thank you so much, Reverend Dennis. At this point in the service, we move to our Circle of Life. And the Circle of Life is a time when we light candles for joys or possibly concerns that are happening in our lives. If you have something that you would like to share, you can do so verbally, or if you'd like to keep it silent, then you may do that too. I'll be down here with a microphone. If you have a joy or concern you'd like to share, you can form a line over on this side, and we'll step up one at a time. That was beautiful. At this time in our service, we take the offering for our church. The offering is your compassionate giving to the work and the belief that we all stand for. Most importantly, the work that we do here. And Larry's going to come up and get some baskets, and maybe someone else, and baskets will be coming around. Thank you so much. The generosity of all, of course, supports this church, and your generosity will be put to good work.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
And now we have Sean Shea with an anthem entitled
Blowing
in the Wind.
in the Wind.
Blowing in the Wind.
How many of you have ever heard this song before? All right, then you have no excuse. You guys are supposed to sing along. And don't worry if you aren't sure if you are in the right key or whatever, because when you put enough voices together, it all kind of averages out and it sounds great. My problem is remembering which verse we're on. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head, pretending he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times can a man look up before he can see the sky. Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. We now have Dennis joining us for that reading I promised you earlier, followed by his sermon.
Our reading this morning is from Gordon McKeeman. And McKeeman asks a question. How does one address a mystery? And he replies, cautiously, let us go cautiously to the end of our certainty, to the boundary of all we know, to the rim of uncertainty, to the perimeter of the unknown which surrounds us.
Reverently, let us go with a sense of awe, a feeling approaching the powerful holy, whose lightning slashes the sky, whose persistence splits concrete and green sprouts, whose miracles are present in every place and moment.
Hopefully, out of our need for our wholeness in our own lives and reconciliation of mind and heart, the conjunction of reason and passion, the intersection of the timeless with time.
Quietly, for no words will explain the inarticulate or summon the presence of that is always present, even in our absence.
But what shall I say?
Anything, any anger, any hope, any fear, any joy, any request, any word that comes from the depth of being, addressed to being itself, or perhaps nothing. No complaint, no request, no entreaty, no thanksgiving, no praise, no blame, no pretense of knowing or of not knowing. Simply be in the intimate presence of mystery, unashamed, unadorned, unafraid.
To be in the presence of the unknown, unashamed, unadorned, and unafraid. Such an admonition is not really simple to follow, particularly for many of us this past week. Like many of you, I went to bed Tuesday night not knowing the results of the election would be. I'd spent the evening with a group of friends who had gathered to share a meal and to be together as results from the elections were reported. When we each left to return to our homes, though we did not know the results, yet a shadow loomed. It was looking like a MAGA wave was rising. By morning, I knew that a dark shadow would be cast over our nation, at least for the next 4 years. I was in a kind of shock. When I looked out the window Wednesday morning, the foggy weather seemed to echo the foggy feelings that were moving within. I recalled a poem that a friend had sent me on election eve. It's by Alison Luterman. It's called holding vigil. My cousin asks if I can describe this moment of heaviness, this sitting outside, like sitting outside the operating room while someone you love is in a surgery. And you're on those awful plastic chairs eating flaming Doritos from the vending machine, which is the only thing that seems appealing to you dinner-wise. Waiting for the moment when the doctor will come out in her scrubs and face masks, when she'll pull down to tell you whether your loved one will live or not. That's how it feels. As the hours tick by and everyone I care about is texting me with the same cold lump of dread in their throats, asking if I'm okay, telling me how scared they are. I suppose in that way, it is a moment of unity. The fact that we're all waiting in the same hospital corridor for the same patient who's on life support, and we're all asking each other, will he wake up? Will she be herself? And we're taking turns holding vigil as families do and bringing each other coffee. Yes, coffee. We'll get to coffee. And some of us think they're going to make it while others are already planning what they'll wear to the funeral, which is also what happens in times like these. And I tell my cousin, I don't think I can describe the moment, this moment heavier than plutonium. But on the other hand, in the grand scheme of things, I mean the whole sweep of human history, a soap bubble. Because empires are always rising and falling. And whole civilizations died. They do. They get wiped out. This happens all the time. It's just a shock when it happens to your civilization, your country, when it's someone from your family on the respirator. And I don't ask her how she's sleeping or what she thinks about when she wakes up at 3 a.m, because she's got 2 daughters, and that's the thing. It's not just about us older people. Forget about us. We had our day, and we burned right through it. Gasoline, fast food, cheap clothes. But right now I'm talking about the babies. And not just the human ones, but also the turtles and owls and white tigers, the redwoods, the ozone layer, the icebergs for the love of God. Every single blessed being on the face of this earth is holding its breath in this moment. And if you're asking, can I describe that, cousin? Then I'm saying no. No one could describe it. We all have to just live through it, holding each other's hands. We all have to just live through it, holding each other's hands. We lived through election night. We will live through the loss of a hope-filled longing that did not make it through the night. I know the reactions are different for many here in Douglas County than they are in Eugene up the I-5. Many of your neighbors celebrated. And an odd benefit of the MAGA victory means that the violent election reactions that many fear did not result. In our progressive faith, many mourn. I do not know what the next 4 years will be like. I know I will be protected by my privilege from some of the worst impacts that a judgmental, angry, and impulsive federal government might bring. But my heart is breaking for those who will be in real pain and for all that will be lost. My heart aches for the LGBTQ community whose fear is legitimately increased. For the brown people and any who speak Spanish who will be seen now as immigrants, no matter how long they've been in this country. For women who will be protected, even from their own longings and their own autonomy. for all the people of color who will be seen as other, branded and labeled as them, for the well-being of other species, and for the atmosphere that surrounds and tempers the climate. There will be much to mourn, and mourning is where we need to begin our journey. I needed to weep a bit this week. I wept several times when I replayed that video that we all saw this morning. We'll make sure the link is in the UMQuest so you can see it again or share it with others. And I wept when I listened to Kamala Harris's concession speech. I am also struggled with and saddened by my growing understanding that so many are so angry and so dissatisfied. I don't know how many people voted for Trump in spite of his intensity and his anger and vitriol, or how many did precisely because that was an expression of some of what they were feeling. I weep for them too. I'm deeply pained that they felt so disappointed and so frustrated and so angry. I do not think the fix they desire will somehow magically emerge and that a self-focused individual will be the redemptive savior that many seek. I mourn for their loss of faith in an American progress that can benefit and include all. The words I hear voiced this week by Black women make me again look with sadness at the persistence of paternalism, misogyny, and racism. Though I continue to hold fast at my faith that love is stronger, I weep for that has not yet prevailed. How long will deep reconstruction of systems take? I do not know. As today's reading suggests, I approach the mystery of the unknown realities of our political circumstances cautiously, lest I overreact or slide towards passivity. Many of us may need a break from the news, a break from divisiveness that has been bubbling over in our communities. Sometimes non-action is better than wrong action. So let's pause. Let's breathe. Weep if we need to. As we move forward, I'm not proposing doing nothing, but rather being mindful and intentional. I'm also not proposing stepping back or retreating in fear, but rather cautiously and carefully paying attention to my own thoughts as well as how my action might possibly make things worse. Even when deeply disappointed and dismayed, I still seek to continue to be and become my best self. I act reverently, recognizing that I'm part of a faith community and that I am called by our deepest values. Sophia Betancourt, president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, in the days following the election, offered that there is so much we cannot yet know. Even if we know the shape and fear, the character of our next governmental administration, we cannot fully know what is yet to come in this country. What I do know, she offered, is that beyond any reasonable doubt is that we are a sanctuary people. A sanctuary people. We can make that claim from the powerful efforts of our elders in the middle of the 20th century through to our congregational and communities offering shelter to migrants today. Whether Harbor or Pink Haven, our homes our congregations, and even our national headquarters model what it means to offer solidarity, shelter, and asylum in the face of what many of us cannot begin to imagine. These are times that will be defined by the continued and increased need for organizing and a faithful commitment to mutual aid. I want to invite us all back to what we learned in our earliest understandings of what humanity itself means. We draw our purpose from the call to honor and uphold the non-negotiable sacredness of each and every person, of earth and of all beings, bound up together in an abiding love that rests in the call to justice. A call to justice. I move forward hopefully, filled not with a grasping, desiring hope, but a deeper, wiser hope. Roshi Joan Holfax writes, I've been troubled by the notion of hope, but recently, in part because of the work of the social critic Rebecca Solnit in her powerful book, Hope in the Dark, I am opening to another view of hope that I call wise hope. Buddhists know that ordinary hope is based in desire, wanting an outcome that could well be different from what will actually happen. Not getting what we hope for is usually experienced as some kind of misfortune. Someone who is hopeful in this way has an expectation that always hovers in the background. The shadow of fear that one's wishes will not be fulfilled. This ordinary hope is a subtle expression of fear and a form of suffering. Wise hope doesn't mean denying these realities, it means facing them. Wise hope is not seeing things unrealistically, but rather seeing things as they are, including the truth of suffering, both its existence and our capacity to transform it. For when we realize we don't know what will happen, that this kind of hope comes alive. In that spaciousness of uncertainty is the very space we need to act. The spaciousness of uncertainty offers us the very space we need. The Czech statement about Václav Havel said, hope is definitely not the same thing as optimism. It's not the conviction that will something turn out well, but the certainty that doing something makes sense regardless of how it turns out. Halifax continues, we can't know, but we can trust that there will be a movement, there will be change, and that we will be part of it. The vows of the heart of the Mahayana tradition are, if nothing else, a powerful expression of radical and wise hope, an unconditional love. As Unitarian Universalists, we too lift up and affirm a wise and radical hope. Roshi Hafex reminded us that apathy is not an enlightened path. We're called to live with possibility, knowing full well that impermanence prevails. So why not just show up? And so I show up quietly. I need quiet time to grieve and time to ponder future possibilities. Wednesday morning, as I do most Wednesday morning, I logged into the online Zoom meditation group that I do from the Eugene Church. My church friend Jennifer Tucker began our gathering with this reminder. You are the same you were yesterday morning. So we sat. We sat together. The Catholic monk and mystic and meditator Thomas Merton, in an essay later collected in a book titled Contemplation in a World of Action, wrote, "One who attempts to act and do things for others or for the world without deepening their own self-understanding, freedom, integrity, and capacity and to love will not have anything to give others." He continues, "We are living through the greatest crisis in the history of mankind, and this crisis is centered precisely in the country that has made a fetish out of action and has lost, or perhaps never had, the sense of contemplation. Far from being irrelevant, prayer, meditation, and contemplation are of the utmost importance in America today." Those words are from the 1970s. Another difficult and divisive time. They echo an oft-repeated truth. In the days leading up to the election, the journalist, writer, and historian David Talbot wrote, "And so now as the Trumpian sound and fury grows louder by the day, along with the agonized cries and reaction, I try to find moments each day during which I calm my frantic mind and withdraw to a quiet place inside me." What will happen? I do not know. To help me make it through, as I've noted this morning, I look to Buddhist teachers and practitioners, for that tradition combines quiet and reverence in a way that feeds my non-anxious, non-grasping hope. The writer Christian Moon reminds me that being in the person we want to be, regardless of our external circumstances, takes a great deal of work. Zen, without the accompanying physical experience, the founders of the temple and martial arts dojo where she practices wrote, is nothing but empty discussion. Moon advises doing something simple, repetitive, but vigorous physical work, whether it's martial arts, endurance activities like running, or challenging manual labor like chopping wood, can dissipate difficult feelings and lead to more clarity, perspective, and calm. This reduces the store of emotions one carries, makes it easier to either not have difficult emotions like anger flare up in the first place, or to more effectively perceive and deal with what's right in front of you, even if anger is present. So each day this past week, I've been spending time in my garden. I dug a trench at the edge of my gravel driveway, a task that was arduous enough I had to split it over 2 days. In that trench, I planted those flower rhizomes that my friend Keith had recently given me. When summer comes, they will bloom. I went out into the driveway and I got down on my knees, not to pray, but to go after some of those tenacious dandelions that were rooted out there. Yesterday was also a day of action for me. I am part of a native habitat restoration project with a group called Interfaith Earthscrapers in Eugene that periodically does work in an area called Turtle Flats near the confluence of the coast and middle forks of the Willamette River. There I got down and dirty, and from time to time I paused and I looked up to the sky, for there are often red-tailed hawks there, and occasionally one can spot an eagle. Well, yesterday was cloudy, and I did not see them, but I heard other birds. I heard the honking of the high-flying geese, traveling as they do every season. Vice President Kamala Harris, in her concession speech, offered this message. The outcome of the election is not what we wanted or what we fought for, not what many voted for, but hear me when I say Hear me when I say the light of America's promise will always burn bright as long as we never give up and as long as we keep fighting. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. It doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. And the important thing is we don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when any tells you that something is impossible just because it's never been done before. You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is the time to roll up our sleeves. This is the time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together. And she closed with this. There's an adage historians once called a law of history, every society across the ages. The adage is, when it is dark enough, you can see the stars. I know many people feel like we're entering a dark time, but for the benefit of all of us, I hope that is not the case. And here's the thing, America. If it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. May it be so. Now, this is the time when we often have an informal conversation about the sermon, but I want to remind all that in lieu of that today, we're going to circle chairs, get some coffee, and pass the microphone around the circle to have a broader conversation about what's moving within you in this time and what might be next for you, and acknowledging what we don't know and maybe formulating some questions we'll continue to focus on together. So to now, together, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for hymn number 67 in the gray hymnal we sing now together. It's a song of thanksgiving, and please remain standing for our closing words of benediction.
We sing now together our songs of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought. For life that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us and leads beyond the goals which are for theirs once sought. We sing of the freedoms which martyrs and heroes
Our words of benediction are from Amanda Udis Keller, who offers us a prayer of thanksgiving.
A planet is born, a spark ignites, something completely new comes into being.
We give thanks for the mystery and the miracle of life.
A waterfall descends, a rainbow arcs through the sky. The ocean opens to an endless horizon.
We give thanks for the mystery and the miracle of beauty.
The stars pierce our hearts. Peace envelops us. We are blessed.
We give thanks for the mystery and miracle of wonder.
In the midst of pain, we find our way to hope and restoration.
We give thanks for the mystery and the miracle of healing.
In the midst of fear, we do what is right and speak our truth in faith.
We give thanks for the mystery and the miracle of courage.
In our aloneness, we see someone in greater need and offer ourselves to them.
We give thanks for the mystery and the miracle of compassion.
And we gather in community, in relationship, in friendship, and cherish each other.
We give thanks for the mystery and the miracle of love. Shalom, salam, amen, and blessed be. So let's, as this tradition of this congregation, join hands in a closing circle as we sing our closing song.